Some match days are loud, others are subtle. Today's fixtures belong to the second category, games where the scoreline doesn't tell the full story unless you understand how control, spacing, and decision-making shape 90 minutes. These matches are not about chaos or wild momentum swings. They are about teams that know how to manage phases of pressure, when to slow the tempo, and when to strike with precision instead of force. Every fixture here carries a quiet tension. The kind that builds gradually, the kind that rewards patience and punishes impatience. If you're watching purely for goals, you might miss the bigger picture. But if you're watching for how matches are won, then this lineup has everything. Stay through the full breakdown, because each game follows a similar pattern. Dominance doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it whispers. Let's start with a match built on authority and balance. Lazio vs Genoa. Correct score 2-0. Prediction: Lazio win or draw. From the opening whistle, this match is defined by structure. Lazio begin with composure, controlling possession without rushing forward. Their shape is compact, their movement calculated, and their passing patient. Genoa, meanwhile, set up to stay organized, limiting space and focusing on defensive discipline. The early stages feel tight. Lazio circulate the ball, probing patiently, while Genoa remain compact and difficult to break down. For a while, the game feels locked, not because of a lack of intent, but because of careful positioning. Gradually, Lazio increase the tempo. Wide areas are stretched, defensive lines are pulled apart, and passing lanes begin to open. Genoa are forced deeper, spending longer periods without the ball. The breakthrough arrives as a result of sustained pressure rather than a sudden burst. Once Lazio take the lead, the match begins to tilt decisively. Genoa now have to rethink their approach. They step higher, commit more bodies forward, and attempt to disrupt Lazio's rhythm. That shift creates space, and Lazio are quick to recognize it. The second goal follows during this phase, effectively settling the contest. From that point onward, Lazio manage the game with maturity. Possession is protected, the tempo slows, defensive shape remains disciplined. Genoa push forward in moments, but clear chances are rare and easily controlled. As the match moves toward its conclusion, Lazio show no urgency to force more goals. The focus is on balance, control, and closing the game cleanly. The final whistle confirms a calm, authoritative performance, a result that comfortably lands within a win or draw. Espanyol vs Alaves. Correct score 1-0. Prediction: Espanyol win or draw. This fixture unfolds as a test of patience and defensive awareness. Espanyol approach the match with quiet confidence. They do not overwhelm the game early, instead choosing to control space and tempo. Alaves respond with caution, maintaining compact lines and limiting risks. The first half is tight and measured, chances are limited, and both sides prioritize shape over ambition. Espanyol see more of the ball, but breaking through requires precision rather than power. As the match progresses, Espanyol begin to assert themselves more clearly. Movement becomes sharper, transitions quicker, and pressure more sustained. Alaves are forced deeper, defending closer to their box and relying on structure to survive waves of possession. The decisive moment comes not through chaos, but through focus. A brief opening, a lapse in positioning, and Espanyol capitalize. Once ahead, Espanyol shift their mindset. The tempo drops, risk is reduced, defensive lines tighten. The objective becomes control rather than expansion. Alaves attempt to respond, but opportunities are limited. Espanyol remain disciplined, clearing danger early and managing transitions effectively. The closing stages are calm. The crowd senses control. Espanyol see out the match without unnecessary drama. The final scoreline reflects the nature of the game: narrow, controlled, and composed, securing a win or draw outcome. FC Koln vs Wolfsburg. Correct score 1-2. Prediction: both teams to score yes. This match is defined by openness and intent. From the start, both sides show a willingness to play forward. The tempo is higher, the transitions quicker, and defensive lines sit slightly higher than usual. Koln look to impose themselves early, pressing aggressively and pushing bodies forward. Wolfsburg respond with sharp transitions, using space intelligently. The opening goal arrives relatively early, setting the tone for an open contest. Rather than closing down, the match becomes more expansive. Koln respond with urgency, pushing higher and committing more players into attacking areas. Their pressure eventually pays off, bringing the game level. At this stage, the match feels wide open. Both teams exchange attacks. Defensive structures are tested. Midfield battles become more intense as control shifts back and forth. Wolfsburg regain the advantage through efficiency rather than dominance. A moment of precision restores their lead. As the clock ticks down, Koln push hard for an equalizer. Pressure builds, crosses increase, and Wolfsburg are forced into a more defensive posture. Despite the late pressure, Wolfsburg manage the closing moments with composure. Space is reduced, and transitions are handled carefully. The final whistle confirms an open, competitive contest, with both teams finding the net as expected. Lens vs La Havre. Correct score 1-0. Prediction: Lens win or draw. This fixture is shaped by control and territory. Lens begin on the front foot, pressing high and dictating the rhythm early. Le Havre respond by staying compact, prioritizing defensive structure and limiting space between lines. The early phases are intense but measured. Lens dominate possession, but Le Havre remain organized and difficult to break down. Rather than forcing the issue, Lens stay patient. They recycle possession, stretch the pitch, and wait for the right moment. That moment eventually arrives. A sustained spell of pressure creates the opening, and Lens take the lead through controlled build-up rather than urgency. Once ahead, Lens adjust their approach. The tempo slows, defensive shape tightens, and the focus shifts toward managing space. Le Havre attempt to respond by pushing forward, but creativity is limited. Lens defend intelligently, cutting off passing lanes and controlling transitions. The closing stages are disciplined. Lens do not chase additional goals. They protect their advantage and manage the game efficiently. The final scoreline reflects a match won through patience and positional awareness, safely landing within a win or draw. Al-Hilal vs Mamelodi. Correct score 2-1. Prediction: over 1.5 goals. This match unfolds with intensity from the opening moments. Both sides show attacking intent early, pressing high and moving the ball forward quickly. The tempo is higher than in earlier fixtures, and space opens up sooner. Al-Hilal take control of possession, dictating tempo and territory. Mamelodi respond with energy, pressing aggressively and looking to disrupt rhythm. The first goal arrives during a period of sustained pressure. Once the deadlock is broken, the match opens up further. Mamelodi respond positively, pushing forward with urgency and confidence. Their commitment is rewarded, bringing the match level and raising intensity. At 1-1, the game feels balanced but tense. Al-Hilal regain control by slowing the tempo and tightening structure. Possession becomes more deliberate, and pressure builds once again. The decisive goal arrives through patience rather than force. Once ahead, Al-Hilal manage the remainder of the match intelligently. Mamelodi continue to push, but spaces are reduced and chances become harder to find. The match ends with controlled pressure and clear attacking intent from both sides, comfortably delivering over 1.5 goals. Final recap. Let's lock everything in clearly. Lazio vs Genoa finishes 2-0, securing a win or draw. Espanyol vs Alaves ends 1-0, controlled and disciplined. FC Koln vs Wolfsburg closes 1-2, with both teams scoring. Lens vs Le Havre finishes 1-0, managed from start to finish. Al-Hilal vs Mamelodi ends 2-1, pushing the total over 1.5 goals. These matches are not decided by noise or luck. They are shaped by structure, awareness, and the ability to control moments that matter. If you stayed through this entire breakdown, you understand the deeper rhythm of football, the kind that doesn't rush, doesn't panic, and doesn't waste chances. Stay connected, keep watching smart, and be ready for the next matchday.